Hello and welcome to a Twisted Sisters YouTube hop, where several close to my heart makers take something from either a brand new catalogue or from the current core catalogue and create something totally different from what you would normally expect the item to be used for. Today it's Lori Kutsch and myself posting videos. There are videos that have already aired on YouTube and there are videos coming after as well. Tomorrow is Angie Moore and Trina Wirahana, and I'll put links to everything down below in the description, so make sure you don't miss anything. Come back and check for those links. You're going to be surprised with what this talented group of ladies come up with. For my video today, as I said, I'm using the March-April 2022 catalogue, and I'm using this Cake Day Scrapbooking stamp and thin cut set. You can see here it's a fabulous birthday cake and gifts and a few sentiments. It's got the little ties to put on top of your gifts, and also you can stamp designs on top of them as well as a cute little banner arrangement. And this set comes with thin cuts. You can purchase the stamp on its own without thin cuts if that's what you would like to do, but I love getting the thin cuts, especially when I can see the shapes and how I can twist them and use them in other ways. The other item that I'm going to be using is the March stamp of the month on my card to decorate it. I love all these quirky little characters, so you'll see that I'm teaming them with this rectangle die. The other products I'm using are the For All Occasions stamp set, and I'm also going to use the adhesive sheets as well. So I have 3 different cards to show you today, but they're all a very similar format. I've gone ahead and I've already stamped all my little animals that I want to use. And I use my Misty for this and put everything down so that I can ink it up, and then I can re-ink and go over top so I get a really good depth of black. I love a solid black image. So I'll just put these ones aside. These I've fussy cut out and it doesn't take that long to do. They're not very large images. So what I've done is take this rectangle and I'm going to use it to make windows. Now I've already worked out which way I want the placement for these. So I have created a template that I can use over and over again. And then it's simply a case of taking a card panel sheet and tracing around the insides of these windows. And because this is a template, it doesn't matter if I go and miss a little bit and go outside these lines. So I have my windows already planned out, ready to use. So then I can run this through my die cutting machine, placing all these rectangles and running through each time. And to save me using foam tape, I'm going to use some fun foam. And I've got our adhesive sheets that I've cut down to the card panel size. And I'm just going to peel that back. I'm not going to go all the way and put my piece of fun foam on. And then once I've got that lined up, I can pull back on the carrier sheet. And you can see I've got some excess here. So I'm just going to trim that off before I attach it to my card panel. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to peel back just a small amount of it and put my card panel on top and then peel the rest of it away. So now I'm ready to run this through my die cutting machine. Place my die over top and run that through, and I'll have this fun foam bit attached already, so it's going to be nice and stable and ready to put on top of the layer that I'm putting underneath. Run all of those through as per my pencil lines, and now I've got all of these pieces that are left from the negative area here, but I'm going to hang on to those because I can use those like foam tape on other projects to pop things up, so don't throw those pieces away. The first card I'm going to show you today is one using Distress Oxide inks. I've already gone ahead and drawn inside where all of these rectangles are, so I know exactly where to do the ink blending. And I'm using the blending tools and starting off heavy down the bottom and then blending it up. It doesn't have to be perfect blending with this because I know that I'm going to be using the little stamped images. So just a little bit of blending, very quick, very easy. I've used Abandoned Coral, Spiced Marmalade, Mustard Seed, Mowed Lawn, Mermaid Lagoon, and now Seedless Preserves. So it's another rainbow order type card. I do love them. I just find rainbow cards so happy and fun to send and receive as well. I'm just going to have a little look at that and see how the blending's going and if I need to add some more ink. As you can see, it looks like a bit of a hot mess on here, but once I put this part over top, you can see that that looks quite good. And I'm not worrying about those little pencil lines because they are covered up a little bit by the ink. And I'm also, as I said before, putting the characters over top of part of that. You can see I've got this one a bit murky, but by the time I put my little character in there and then a sentiment, I'm also going to add some water flicks. Now I've just used White Daisy. I haven't used watercolor paper at all. And then I'm going to get my paper towel and just roll that over top. You can use your water brush, and for the areas that you want to add some more to that may have got missed when you're flicking, you can just add more little droplets on to create more of that water effect. I just love how the Distress Oxides play with water. It really does make a difference. So you can see where I'm going with this. I'm going to peel the back of the adhesive sheet off and attach it. I want to make sure that I get this lined up over top of my coloured sections. I can always trim this area off and no one's going to be any the wiser. Just going to bring in my glue and my tweezers and start adhering all of these to my card panel. Now when I'm placing these down, I am purposefully putting some parts of the animal off the edge and outside the window. Rather than putting these little animals down onto the base of the card and having most of them hidden, I find it quite fun to have part of them peeking up. And then all that's left for me to do is to put this birthday strip across. And then I can adhere this to a card base and it's ready to go. So that's card number 1. Card number 2, I've done pretty much the exact same thing with colorway, but instead of doing the Distress Oxide blending, I've just used coloured cardstock. I've cut rectangles so that they fill the little window pane areas. Card number 3, I'm going to make a shaker card. I've already gone ahead and I've got, this is the cardstock like I was talking about with this card. I've gone ahead and put some cardstock there. I've cut some acetate and adhere that with some liquid glue, and then using this same template, I've drawn where my little windows are going to be. So to get a window, I've just pierced the inside section here, and then I'm going to cut around this area. Now I want to make sure that I leave enough so that I can trap the beads, or in this case the little freckles that I'm going to use inside the acetate. So this is going to be my little well. I need to make sure I go all the way around the edges of my windows. If I get it too close, I can just grab a piece of scrap cardstock and wipe that bit off. And then I can turn this over, line up this bottom one. Nobody's going to see how I cut that bit out. And then I'm going to put a block on top of that to hold the glue in place. And I'm going to sprinkle these directly onto my card base, but you can see that that is popping up. And if I try and put those sprinkles on there, they're just going to roll off. So I'm just going to put a little bit of dot adhesive that I can rub off later, and that will hold that nice and flat. And then I'm going to get my freckles and place them exactly where I want them to go. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this one down in this section here. So just a few. And then I can push them in. I just find it easier when I'm doing something like this to put them onto the base rather than filling up this way and putting the card over top. And then I just need some glue all around these window sections especially, so that they stay trapped. Because this is fun foam and I've done this whole panel virtually, they will remain pretty much in place. So I'm sorry if my head gets in the way as I go to line this up, but that looks pretty good. And once again, because I've used liquid glue, I'm just going to put a block on that to keep everything in place while the glue dries. And you can see that's got a really nice shake to it because there's not too many freckles in there. If you want to decorate it some more, you could put some more little animals peeking out. Here are the 3 cards that I have just made. Exactly the same format for all of them, but with different techniques. Using plain cardstock. This is the light side of our coloured cardstock, so it's candy apple, nectarine, lemon, clover, bluebird and grape. And this one using Distress Oxide inks that I showed to you on camera. And then this one here with just a few of the little windows highlighted. So when you look at your stamp sets and you buy them because you really love the images that are on there, and if they come with thin cuts, have a look at the shapes that are inside them. I've chosen this plain rectangle. These other ones wouldn't have quite worked the same because, as you can see from the blue image here, they have an area here for the little bow toppers for the gifts. So this plain rectangle can be used so many different ways, and I've just chosen to make some fun character rainbow type cards using the March stamp of the month. I hope you've enjoyed what I've created here today. Don't forget to look in the description down below for all the links for the Twisted Sisters hop, and I hope to see you next time. Happy crafting. Bye for now.